going on, everybody? Welcome back. We are going to talk about the Skilitary 2.0 T4s and ISO classes, who to go for, what T4s to invest in, and this team has been doing much better since they got their second pass with the rework. I've seen screenshots, I've seen footage from people. This is now a hard counter to Mercs, especially once you bring in Black Widow, but this team has now gone from being a one-trick pony where you had to copy and transfer positive effects on the enemy team. Now they have actual damage, they have actual abilities, they actually work instead of having to rely on stealing those buffs. And that has made them a much more viable offensive team. We're going to talk about what T4s to invest in, but also because they've changed up how this team works, that also means you don't have to have a massive T4 investment in this team anymore to actually make it work. Before, you had to invest in T4s in like Punisher and Killmonger just to get the ability to steal and transfer positive effects. Now, you don't have to do that anymore because you don't have to worry about making sure they can steal those positive effects. Now, those are supplementary T4s. Those are ones that you don't really have to focus on, but if you do have them, great. So we're going to focus on the T4s for this, and I'm going to say right now, I would say there's 4 T4s that you really want to invest in to make this team work. You can get by without those, but I think those are the ones that are going to really make this team a really good offensive powerhouse, and we're going to talk about those in order. Now, my number 1 T4 for this team is going to be the Yelena Belova passive. Now, they have changed this thing up a little bit, but this passive has been a huge boost against Merc teams, because now on War Offense, at the end of any turn, if a non-protector Skilitary ally is taunting, clear taunt and apply stealth and 2 regen to them. This is such a huge Taskmaster counter. Taskmaster on War Defense, at the end of each of his turns, he applies taunt to the highest damage character on your team. For me personally, that's Punisher. I have him at tier 15 because I took him into DD4, but he's also a squishy character, so if he's got taunt on him, he's gonna get focused down pretty quickly. But because of this Yelena passive, now my Punisher goes into stealth, gets regen at the end of Taskmaster's turn, so there's really no need to worry about those Merc teams so much anymore. But also, some of the previous abilities here, they have kind of changed this up, so now you have, basically without the T4, Taskmaster, Sabretooth, they can no longer assist on non-attack abilities. Also, this is lowering crit chance by additional 15%. That does help with countering Killmonger that you'll often see on Merc squads as well. But that clearing of the taunt and just allowing your Skilitary characters to not have to worry about getting focused down by Taskmaster right at the start of a fight, that is a big boost. Now, also, one other thing that has come into this play with this team that is not part of the T4, but if this character has speed up, all Skilitary allies gain 100% bonus accuracy. This makes them immune to that blind from Taskmaster at the start of the fight. Big boost overall, but definitely I want to go for that T4 because of how helpful it is for countering Mercs. Now, my number 2 passive, or my number 2 T4, is going to be another passive, and that's going to be the passive on Red Guardian, Maskarovka. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. On spawn, apply speed up to all Skilitary allies. Red Guardian, all Skilitary allies gain 20% max health. That speed up is very important for countering Marauder teams, which you will now be able to do much more efficiently because of the buffs that have come into play with Skilitary. This speed up allows Yelena to go before the enemy Strife, allows her to disrupt him, and allows you to focus down some other Marauder characters without worry of Strife being able to taunt and kind of drag the fight out. So this speed up is very important for countering those teams. And also with this speed up, I've actually seen Yelena and Black Widow go before mercenaries as well. So this passive is very important for making sure your team goes fast and gets going right out of the gate before the enemy team has a chance to get going. My number 3 is going to be the passive on Merc Soldier. This got a massive boost as well. 40% damage for Merc Soldier and Skilitary allies, and an additional 25% damage on Merc Soldier as well. This is big, and actually my number 4 T4 is going to be another T4 on Merc Soldier as well. This 40% damage boost, I mean, what else do I need to say? That's huge, that's significant, and with the offense up that you now get from Black Widow as well on the team, well, you're basically doubling the damage of your Skilitary team while this is all going on. Skilitary hits hard now. I'm slowly gathering footage. We'll probably put that out tomorrow. But yeah, Skilitary is a legit team now. They hit hard, and this T4 is very helpful in getting this going. 40% damage. This used to be, I think, like 20% before. They drastically increased the damage boost you got with this. That's been very helpful. And then the number 4 T4 is going to be Merc Soldier Special. Now, without it, the text is hard to see here, but what happens with this T4 is without it, all he's doing is attacking the primary adjacent targets for damage and applying bleed. Once you put this T4 on, this is part of the problem with the Skilitary T4s initially, was that you had to invest in T4s. This is one you definitely have to invest in. It transfers 1 positive effect, excluding taunt, from the primary target to self and all Skilitary allies. That's given. That was part of what was already there. A nice boost to damage, but here's where things got really interesting with the T4. You can't see it here because I've already invested in it. In war, clear 2 positive effects on the primary and adjacent targets. Cannot be blocked or countered. That is huge. Merc Soldier, his focus is not the best, but between the offense up with Black Widow and the focus bonus, the 50% focus boost from Red Guardian, you have a reliable clear here. And this can get rid of taunt, which is great. He can transfer, which won't transfer taunt, but this special will be able to clear with taunt on this. So this is a big one. Not being able to be blocked or countered has been huge as well. Before, with the deflect on characters, he couldn't really clear. It was a big problem. But now that it can't be blocked, this special has become a big game changer for Skilitary, and you guys will see in the footage that I'm putting together. This, without being able to block it, has been a huge boost, and this, I think, is a very, very important T4 to go for. It's crazy how this one minion, the one minion we have for Skilitary, has 2 incredibly important T4s to go for on this team. Now, in terms of supplementary T4s, there's plenty you can go for. I highly recommend the Going Dark T4 on Yelena, because this gives her disrupted for 2 turns on the special. Also, the Widow Strike, she can transfer 2 positive effects if she or any ally has stealth. And if you're wearing Black Widow has stealth a lot. So that basic is going to be doing a lot. But let's talk about Black Widow, because Black Widow is the new character for Skilitary, and she is absolutely incredible with the Skilitary team. And we're gonna have to talk about what to do with Avengers now, because if you're probably gonna want to be putting Black Widow on your Skilitary team. And yeah, I mean, the T4 on her special now clears negative effects from Skilitary allies, and now this T4 passive will give her assist now on Red Guardian and Yelena turns as well. So when she assists on Yelena and Red Guardian turns, she's also able to copy and clear all positive effects on primary targets. So yeah, Black Widow got a huge boost. There's 2 T4s you can go for on her. I do have some of the T4s on Punisher. This one is also very, very good, the ultimate, because it gives an additional attack. And with Striker on Punisher, you can basically get a triple tap with this, and he does a lot of damage. He's a very high damage character. I don't know if he's still top 10 if he got pushed out with Kestrel coming in, but he's still very high in terms of damage stats. So getting this additional attack in with this T4 here is very good. He's also able to transfer positive effects here with the T4 on the special, but that's one you definitely don't need to have. And Killmonger, I don't really use Killmonger with Skilitary. I've been using him with Mercs. I'm probably going to keep him on Mercs. But yeah, now he can transfer positive effects to self and Skilitary allies. But also, one big thing with these transferring is that you no longer have to have a Skilitary team to do it. He's now able to do it on his own, both him and Punisher, and I believe Merc Soldier all have the ability to copy and transfer without having to be on a Skilitary team. So that is a nice little boost to the T4s for those characters, but it's still a little unfortunate you have to give the T4s just to get those copy and transfers. Otherwise, I think that about covers the T4s. I don't have any other T4s on Red Guardian. May eventually down the road. I mean, this clearing 2 negative effects is not bad on the special for Red Guardian, and this 100% bonus damage on the ultimate is not bad, but again, I'm not really worried about that. So those are the T4s I recommend in order: the Yelena passive, the Red Guardian passive, the passive on Merc Soldier, and then the special on Merc Soldier as well, and then kind of supplement from there based on what you're going for. Black Widow with her cleansing and her passive, both great T4s to go for as well. The ultimate on Punisher is another good one. Go from there however you think best with your T4s. Let's talk about ISO classes, and you can see I've got a nice little mixture here. I have Skirmisher on several characters, and I do have Striker on Punisher, And we're going to talk about Black Widow and what to go for on her as well. Punisher, I think, obviously the best option to go for on him is just going to be Striker. Very high damage stat on him. You have plenty of skirmishers here to set up vulnerable. That triple tap with the ultimate where it hits once, then does attack to all enemies, and then he can do a triple tap, or he can get another hit in with the Striker ISO attack. So I think Striker's a great option for him. Yelena, I've got Skirmisher on her, and I've got level 5 Skirmisher because of that focus boost. And right now with her, she's sitting about 10,000 focus. Between Red Guardian, offense up from Black Widow, that's 20,000 focus, which is more than enough for countering Emma teams. And that is why I've got the Skirmisher on her. I'm pretty much going to be keeping Skirmisher on her. She doesn't get any bonuses from Striker. She will not copy and transfer according to the data files. She won't be copying and transferring positive effects on Striker attacks. So there's no real need to go for Striker on her. I think Skirmisher is just the best option for her overall. Killmonger, he's got crit bonuses on a bunch of his abilities, so Raider seems to go for the best option for him. And, you know, constantly gaining charge and getting bonus crit chance, and on crit he gains offense up, and then on Battle Frenzy he can attack all the enemies with if he scores a critical hit with his chain attack. So Raider definitely seems best for Killmonger. I've gone healer for Red Guardian. There's really nothing else to go for on him. Striker doesn't give him any bonuses. His oh my gosh, his ISO attacks don't get anything. It's just pure damage. I'm gonna keep an eye on Fortifier. If the blue ISO Fortifier is good, we'll see. We'll play around with it, but maybe once the blue Fortifier comes out, maybe I'll put Fortifier on him, but just the regular ISO tier 1 Fortifier on him just doesn't really do anything. I'm not a big fan of it, so I would just keep keep healer on him. Really nothing else you need to go for on him. Plus, he's got several healing abilities. He's able to heal when he drops below max health. He gains a heal on his Iron Curtain. Yeah, I would just keep healer on Red Guardian. I think healer is the best option for him. Merc Soldier, Skirmisher. There's no need to go for Striker on him. There's nothing here for his bonus damage. He does do some nice damage on his basic, but Skirmisher is really good for him. And if you are going to take him up to tier 5 eventually on that ISO, that boost to focus is going to be significant for helping to dispel effects. But Skirmisher is just using him to set up vulnerable on other targets like Punisher. And then Black Widow. This is one I'm going back and forth on, and I'll do some testing to see which one I like. But your options for her are either going to be Skirmisher or Striker. There's nothing else you need to go for on her. For her ISO bonus attacks, she will copy and transfer positive effects. There's no need to, there's nothing special about this. So Striker is why, Striker is a very good option for Black Widow because of this, because of the copying and clearing positive effects. They have noted that in the changes to her kit, they have made sure that her assist encounters do indeed copy and clear. So now Striker is good for her. Skirmisher's also really good. She's constantly assisting with Red Guardian and Yelena on the team. So there are some really good options there for her. Striker or Skirmisher, I think you can't go wrong with either one. But if you're getting a lot of vulnerable setup with characters like Yelena and Merc Soldier, if you're using Killmonger and he's helping set up vulnerable as well, it would be probably good to have 2 Strikers on the team with Black Widow and Punisher. So, I mean, you can't really go wrong on either option. I think both are very good options for her. I wouldn't go anything besides Skirmisher or Striker. You're really just not getting the most out of her kit at that point. So, I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think about the Skilitary team and the T4s and the ISOs? Are you guys more excited about this team now that it's actually working properly? I want to hear from you guys down below. But as always, if you guys have enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, share it, and subscribe. I will see you guys next time.